Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about what is going to be happening for all 12 signs in the month of December. So what I need for you to focus in on is your Vedic sidereal ascendant or moon sign. No, I'm not asking you to look for your tropical Western sun sign. That will be totally inaccurate. I know a lot of you just do it anyway. But if you want to really get in touch with what's going to be happening for the month of December, you're going to want to know your moon sign, because the moon is how you feel, and you're going to want to know your ascendant in the Vedic sidereal chart. How do you know what they are? You can do this two ways. Probably the best way is if you get my galactic planner, because even better than getting this little short dissertation about what the month's going to be about, if you get the galactic planner, you will be able to get every single day exactly what's going to be happening for you through your individual birth chart with all of your planets. Yes, it takes your birth chart and calculates it. Then all of the descriptions of what it means for you, the transiting planets in your chart, will be delivered into your calendar on your phone or your computer. So that's galacticplanner.com. And it will tell you when you get that calculated what your moon sign is and what your ascendant is. Now, if you just want to get this really quick and get a taste of this, go to my website, galacticcenter.org, and I have a free chart calculator. Now, when you do put all your information in, scroll all the way to the bottom to look for AS, that's your ascendant, MO, that's your moon. Don't try to read the charts if you don't know Vedic astrology, because it is completely different than what you're familiar with, okay? So I want you to get your moon sign and your ascendant sign. So go to galacticcenter.org and find that, first of all. So before I continue on, when you are at my website, remember to sign up for my free newsletter, get all of my predictions delivered weekly to your email, and don't forget also to check out my Patreon page. It's an incredible community of spiritual people. Seriously, you will love it. Okay, so let's get going. Let's start with if your moon or your ascendant, I want you to listen to both of them, but if your moon or your ascendant is in Aries, then this has been quite a year for you in terms of financial gains. Jupiter's been in your second house, but for this month, Mars is going to be in your fourth house, and it's going to be going back and forth in your fourth house. The fourth house deals with family, it deals with your sense of security, and most of all, it can deal with where you're living, your residence. So things will be kind of torn up or in an uproar. You might be renovating your home or changing things up or even moving. And if your mother is still alive, please watch over her, because there can be some problems going on with her. With Venus being in your 10th house, things are going well in the workplace. You're getting a lot of accolades and recognition. And your boss, if you have a boss, is going to be a lot nicer. Now, if you have your own business, things will be much more productive. You'll find this is a good month. But especially, you're going to find that money is on the uptick and you are doing extraordinarily well. Now, if your moon or your ascendant sits in Taurus, then Jupiter, of course, has been in your first house this year, and it's been a year of great expansion. You're feeling good about things. You're feeling optimistic about the future. Now, with Mars transiting in your third house, you're going to find that if you have brothers or sisters, there can be some contention, there can be some conflict, so be careful around siblings. Another thing is you might feel very compelled to go back to school to get some education. If not, you are learning so much more based on the fact that you've been reading more, gathering more information. It just feels really good to get a better grasp on information, learning, and there will be some short trips. So probably spontaneous at the last minute, you'll have to go on a trip. And who knows, you might even have to go visit one of your siblings. Now, Venus is in the 9th house, so travel is important and travel is pleasant during this time. And I want to say with where the sun is, you're going to find that relationships will be a focal point throughout this particular month. If your moon or your ascendant sits in Gemini, then this means there's a lot of healing from the past. Old things have been coming to the surface, but you're able to alleviate them and let them go. It just doesn't bother you. There's a healing. Now, Mars being in the 2nd house, don't be overly too spontaneous with your spending. In other words, put a little hold on it. Don't be incredibly just jump to conclusions and buy things. In other words, hold back a little bit because you might find that you erratically spend too much on certain things. Be careful what you say too. Your voice is important. You may say things without thinking. Take it easy. And you might find it's also a time to maybe get your teeth looked at, that type of thing. Now, Venus is in the 8th house, so there's a lot of deep healing, psychological healing, things from the past. They keep coming up, but you're able to process and let go and heal. And also you're going to find that this is a month that you become unusually health conscious. Yes, health conscious. Things about health and healing come to the forefront, and you're able to really make a difference with how you feel and get healthier. If your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Cancer, then this means that Jupiter has been in your 11th house. This particular year, you've been meeting a lot of new people, new friends, new associates, new groups that come together, even meeting up with some very influential people. Now, Mars is in your 1st house. So you might find that you're a little bit more accident prone. Things just happen when you least expect it. And I want you to not be so impulsive and impatient. Take it easy. Things are going to happen when they're supposed to. Slow down. Venus in the 7th, you could fall in love if you're not in a relationship. If you are in a relationship, things can go better. They go easier. Listen to your partner and don't be so adamant about having to be right. You'll make things go a lot easier and smoother. And this is also a month of creative involvement. You will be doing a lot more creative work and manifesting and making changes that are very productive. If your moon or your sun, if your moon or your ascendant are in Leo, then Jupiter's been in your 10th house, and this is an exceptional house for career opportunities. This has been a fantastic year for you career-wise. Expansion and growth and creativity in the workplace. This is exceptional. Now, Mars is in your 12th house this month, so be aware of secret enemies, people from behind the scenes that can pop out of nowhere. And what this can essentially mean as well is that you might have people talking behind your back. Be aware that things are not as they appear. And people can be backstabbers during this time. Now, with Venus in your 6th house, you are getting healthier, you are getting stronger, and you can overcome the obstacles of the people behind the scenes that try to hurt you. And also be aware of theft. Be more open to seeing problems and definitely keeping yourself protected. In other words, thieves can be taking things from you, maybe physical things, but even intellectual information. Be aware of that. If your moon or your ascendant sits in Virgo, then Jupiter's been in your 9th house. This is a year that you've been planning a lot of trips, going on vacations. But most of all, if you haven't had the opportunity to travel, you are learning so much, and you've been very inspired to learn things on spiritual subjects and philosophy. And you might even be changing the way you think, believe it or not. Now, with Mars in the 11th house, be aware that friends may not be as friendly as they used to be. You might have some run-ins, some conflicts, or even arguments with friends. Be aware of this. Some of the people who you thought may be your friends may not be your friends. But Venus is in the 5th house. You are so much more creative this month. Use your creative intuition to change things up. And if you're thinking about starting a business, this could be, you could have some new ideas. I think I'd hold off till after the month of December, since Mercury will be retrograde for some time. If your moon or your ascendant sits in Libra, then Jupiter's been in your 8th house. This has been a great year for major inward transformational change, psychological change, a new understanding of yourself and the world around you. Mars is in your 10th house, and this will cause some upsets in the work. Maybe your boss may be a little difficult, may not agree with you. Just be careful to avoid confrontation and arguments with your boss. Now, Venus is in the 4th house, so you're probably inspired to decorate, to do new things around the home, change things up, even a little feng shui, move furniture around for the energy to change. And this is a month that you've been thinking more about how financial situations look, how to rearrange things maybe in your investments. If your moon or your ascendant sits in Scorpio, then Jupiter's been in your 7th house, which means relationships are good. And if you're looking to fall in love, this is the year that probably you will find someone, because Jupiter is so strong in the 7th house of love and romance and commitment. And that's another thing. It could even bring in some business partners instead of love affairs. But if you're married and you're in a relationship, this means relationships improve and get better. Mars is in your 9th house. You might find that sporadically, unexpectedly, you may have to go on a trip. And it's a trip to clear things out, to make things better. So that's what I'm seeing with Mars in your 9th house. Now, if your father's still around, be aware that you could have some conflicts or arguments or just disagreements with your father. Or if he's not healthy, be aware that this is a time that there could be accidents. Venus being in the 3rd represents a new connection with brothers or sisters, but it's also a time for learning, new education, reading, and expanding your awareness and intelligence. And your relationships will be a focal point, something you must be aware of. So if your ascendant or your moon sign sits in Sagittarius, then Jupiter's been in your 6th house. And yes, you're getting so much healthier. You've had a new awareness when it comes to health and healing. So this is a great time to start a new exercise program or a new diet, things of that nature to make you feel better. Now Mars is in the 8th house, which means you are digging deep, new research, analysis to get to the core and the bottom of many things in your life, especially in psychological work, where you're trying to understand why certain things are the way they are in your life. You'll get the answers. You'll dig deep and you'll find some truths that you didn't know about before. Now, Venus is in your 2nd, so it's a great month financially. You're going to find money comes in, you're more prosperous, you're happier, and you use your voice to impress people. Use your voice to be complimentary and to help and heal, because Venus in the 2nd gives sweet speech. And it'd be a good time to go get some, maybe your teeth cleaned or whitened, things of that nature. Now, if your moon or your ascendant is in the sign of Capricorn, and Jupiter's been in the 5th house, maybe this is a year that your family's growing. There may be a new child that's come into your life. If not, then this is a time of great creative talent, where you've been expanding your creative talents, and you could even be writing a book of sorts. This could be the time of investing as well. This is a time of expansion in awareness, but mainly in investments. Mars is in your 7th, so be aware of conflicting agreements with people, maybe partners, and most of all, marriage partners. You might find that during this time frame, you're in disagreement and there's conflict emotionally with your partner. Now, Venus being in the 1st house, you're feeling pretty good about yourself, especially your appearance. And maybe it's a time to go out and buy new clothes and change your look up. Maybe your hair, your makeup, or just buy a new wardrobe. If your moon or your ascendant sits in the sign Aquarius, then Jupiter's been in your 4th house. This is the year of a move, buying property, or just moving to a place that's bigger, more expansive. It's a good time for property and real estate. And if your mother's still alive, you're going to find that you'll have some lovely get-togethers and maybe some celebrations in the house with your family. Now, Mars being in your 6th house, be aware you're a bit accident prone during this time. And another thing is, around the workplace, you could be a little accident prone, but pay attention to the people you work with. They may undermine you, or they may be very difficult to work with this month. And furthermore, if you have employees, be aware your employees may be very confrontational and not working out so well. Now, Venus is in your 12th house, so you're going to find that there's some good people come around and from the past, maybe old loves and old memories of love and relationships that come about. And another thing with Venus in the 12th house, you will sleep so much better. You're going to have good dreams, so that can really help you with your health. If your moon or your ascendant sits in Pisces, then this means Jupiter's in your 3rd house. And in the 3rd house, this is the house that deals with writing, communications. So this is the time that if you've been wanting to write a book, this is the time to do it. It's also a time you may be going on some trips, short or long, but you will go and you will have a wonderful time. There's something about expansion and learning through travel at this time. And if you have any brothers or sisters, you might find that you have some great conversations with them, coming together, or even going to visit them more often. Mars in your 5th house, mentally you have been a little stressed and you've been worrying more than normal. And if you have children, they can definitely be more demanding during this time, making life a little bit more complicated. So they will be demanding attention. Now, Venus is in your 11th house. It's a time that you'll make new friends, new associates, and it'll be a happy time coming together with the people that you're friends with, and also creating and cultivating new friends. So that pretty much covers all 12 signs of the zodiac for the month of December. So remember, if this has instilled any interest in learning astrology, check out my university. I have a university all online where you can learn Vedic astrology and become an astrologer yourself. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.